Hey there, traders. Today is the 5th of February 2021, and I'm going to give you guys a quick market breakdown. I'm going to jump straight into it. We've got some open positions to talk about today, but I'm going to go through them chart by chart. So we're going to start off with Bitcoin on the daily chart here. So first things first, I would like to talk about the fact that we are starting to see some bullish momentum here, starting to break to the upside, but I still don't see proper volume coming through to support prices moving up. We still see more or less a gradual decline in volume since this big candle over here. So this is going to tie in with what I'm about to try and explain to you guys of what I think is actually happening in the market. So currently, a lot of analysts and YouTubers and media outlets are extremely bullish on the entire global economy. We're talking about brand new all-time highs over the next year or two. You can also hear the narrative on the media continuously talking about how since Biden is in control now and sworn into the presidency, that things will go back to normal. Now, when they start becoming extremely bullish on the markets, that's usually when we start looking for the tops, right? So I'm extremely skeptical about this market structure here with Bitcoin until we break above our previous swing high on a closing basis around $40,700. Let's call it that. So I'd be skeptical to this because we're still seeing a drop in volume here, even though price action is technically moving up. But it's overall, we could have some potential trades lining up here as well. So I wouldn't be too bearish on it. I'm just saying I'm cautious because I think usually when the herd starts getting bullish, that's when the smart money starts dumping the markets to create some more liquidity. And then they buy the coins that you sell, panic sell. So be aware of the fact that I think we're actually nearing the end of a cycle. Doesn't mean we're not going to $100,000, $200,000 per Bitcoin. It just means that we could be stopped for a month or two or three, maybe come back down, move sideways. But remember, we're not attached to where the prices are going. We just want the prices to move so that we can trade them up and down. So let's go down to the lower term time frames here on the 4-hour chart, and we can see that Bitcoin is currently moving between these liquid zones. Pretty much not really much to talk about here, except for the fact that we are closing higher 4-hour candles than these previous swing highs here. So we are short term, medium term, definitely trending to the upside. But like I said, I'd be skeptical until we close above $40,700 per Bitcoin. We are involved in other trades and we'll be able to trade other coins until we find the decent setups for these bigger coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum again. So just be patient. The trades are always going to come back to us. I think over the next couple of weeks, maybe next week, 2 weeks, going into the end of February, I think we're going to see some decent corrections because the market has been making quite a lot of money, and a lot of that's going to be big given back to the market after we see a correction. So with this GameStop stuff that's happening in the background, and these retail traders kicking Wall Street in the kahunas, I think they're going to retaliate and we'll see some lower prices very soon. For us, that would be great because we can short the market. I usually say we make a lot more money shorting than longing because we're making more dollars and cryptos. So Bitcoin, I'd expect a move back up to around maybe 40K, but I'd be patient here. I wouldn't be looking to go into this trade aggressively at all at the moment. We've got some better setups like the Chainlink trade and the Ripple trade, which I'll speak about in just a sec. But here's pretty much the gist of what I'm trying to say. I expect Bitcoin to perhaps slowly roll its way back up to around this liquid zone, and then we'll reassess what is going to happen once we get there. Are we going to be rejected? and then start seeing some sideways correction movement, or are we actually going to shoot for 50K before we start correcting? And again, that's what makes me bearish at the moment, or not bearish, but a little bit cautious, because everybody that I know of is calling for Bitcoin to go to $50,000, and usually that's a sign of the opposite that's about to happen. So for Bitcoin, I'm short-term bullish here. I think we'll probably come up back up and test around 40K. But then I'll be cautious around here. I wouldn't want to take any trades until we close above $40,700 per Bitcoin. Next one I want to talk about is Ethereum. Pretty much the same thing. We wanted to get filled in on this level on $1,434. We haven't gotten that fill yet. As you can see, the price has actually just been skyrocketing to the upside. Again, that's okay, because look at the volume. So there's not a lot of participation once again with the price action moving to the upside. So I'm being cautious here. I would like to see a pushback down with some volume backing this level. I want to see the bulls defending this 1,400, $1,380 level. If they defend that, I'd be happy to put risk on at that level. That's why we've still got a pending order waiting for us there. So on the lower term time frames, there's not much to talk about really. We can see Ethereum is still currently bouncing, going to the upside. Started pulling back yesterday, but this is usually quite a bullish signal. If we don't even make it back down to the 21 exponential, that usually does show to me that we want to test higher. Shorter term, same thing on Bitcoin. We actually did not get close to the 21 exponential on the 4-hour chart. So perhaps one more sweep to the upside. Maybe Ethereum will hit 1,800. But then I expect prices still to come down. It's definitely Ethereum leading the crypto market here. So this makes me think that some altcoins still have some upside potential, like Chainlink and like Ripple. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy from this level. I want to manage my risk from market structure levels. So that's this level that I've been speaking about, and perhaps even lower towards $1,250 per Ethereum. We can now take away these trend lines. They don't mean a thing anymore. So I want to wait for the market to clearly show us where is the price being supported. Everything has to come back to fair value eventually. You have to understand that markets move in cycles, and those cycles are all based on fair value. So that's why I believe that a lot of the profits that have been made will be given back to the market, especially by the retail traders and the dumb money, the herd. The people don't understand how markets behave and work. So we won't be caught in that. We'll be patient and wait for the market to show us exactly what's happening. So for this first week of February, I just also want to say we're just over 6% up on our portfolio. We've had a few trades this week. We had an XLM trade that took some profits off the table. Then I eventually got stopped out on break even. So if you got stopped out on break even, that's fine. At least we banked something there. And then there were a few other trades that were taken, including now Chainlink and Ripple. Overall, a very successful week. I don't think we had a losing trade this week, unless we made maybe a small loss. I'm not sure. But oh yes, we closed Bitcoin on a small loss over the weekend one day. So here we go. Ethereum, that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. Perhaps a pullback to $1,434. That's where I'm looking to buy. Let's talk about Chainlink. Chainlink, we wanted to buy this level. This level was beautifully defended by the bulls. We can see some proper volume coming through here while price is moving up. I like that. That's why I believe that Chainlink has the opportunity to go to $30 even. So this is looking to shape up to a very stunning trade. Currently, we moved our stop loss up to 24.8. So it's just below this liquid zone, this previous liquid zone. And we'll see how the price reacts when it comes back down to around $25 and 77 cents. Are we going to jump straight back up and shoot to the moon, or are we going to actually start breaking down and come back down and hit our stop loss? Because if we do, that's when I'll be expecting Chainlink to go much lower as well. We kind of have a ascending wedge formation happening here, and these typically break out to the downside. So you can see that I've got a measured move here that does point towards this previous liquid zone around $18.25 and $17.16. So not saying it's going to happen. We obviously are currently breaking out to the upside here. So I'd be looking for Chainlink to make its way about $30, maybe $31.50. Somewhere around there is going to be my target longer term for Chainlink. So overall, a very beautiful trade. I'm happy with how this one is playing out. Not much to say here. I think shorter term, medium term, $30 could be our next target unless we start breaking back down. So it's some exciting times ahead of us this week. Same thing here with Ripple. We actually look to buy around this level after the bulls quite clearly defending it. We're trying to sell another portion of our Ripple at 0.5. We almost got to our first target and then started turning back down. But overall, this posture is still looking fairly bullish to me. We're still creating higher highs here, shorter term. And as long as we can maintain this bullish posture, I believe that we will make our way back up to about 75 cents per Ripple. So quite a nice trade, quite a nice target there to the upside. I'm willing to be patient now. We've taken some profits off the table here as well. Stop loss should be on break even. Once we break above this liquid zone, we'll move the stop loss to 0.462, just below this liquid zone, and we'll continue to move our stop losses up as the price continues up. It's kind of called a trail stop. So what it means is, as price continues, you keep moving your stop loss into profit. So by the time the market turns back down, that profit will automatically be banked in the moment the price starts turning against us. So it's a very powerful way of staying in the market as long as you can before having to get back out, and you can actually exponentially improve your profits using a trailing stop. Okay, so that's Ripple. I think short term we might see some sideways upwards action here. I'm overall still very bullish on this. This was a huge extension to the upside. Came back to backfill a little bit here, but us defending, well, not us, Ripple defending this 37 cents mark really made me feel bullish about this, and the technicals were lining up for this to actually go much higher. So my aim is to cash out completely at about 80 cents per Ripple, but we'll see what the market has in store for us. Let's chat about Litecoin a little bit here as well, because this is a coin I don't speak about much, but still overall looking bullish here. I was actually looking to give you guys a signal around $139 per Litecoin to get long. Unfortunately, we never made it that low. So we're currently breaking to the upside here. We see some volume coming through, but not really significant. So same thing as Bitcoin. I think Chainlink is kind of trying to make one more push to the upside, but I think it will be a move that will be faded. I think it's going to be a swing pattern failure. Um, Especially again, everybody is getting over bullish on the market right now. So it could go well for everybody in the next week, 2 weeks maybe, but then I think we're going to start seeing some capitulation from that point moving forward. So capitulation means some dumping in the market, people starting to sell their assets and liquidating. So Litecoin, excuse me, I think perhaps I'll be cautious around this one. If we make it back up to 165 around here and then get another potential trade around the 155 level, I'd be happy to go long, as long as we see volume and we see decent support from that level. To the same token, if Litecoin does take out this liquid zone running through here. I do think we'll come back up and sweep the highs around $185 a Litecoin. So I'm going to be patient with this one. I am keeping an eye on all the coins that I'm discussing with you guys today in order to be ready once we need to take positions. So things are lining up quite beautifully. I think in the next week or two, we're going to be able to catch quite a few trades. Then on Bitcoin Cash here, Bitcoin Cash is looking a little bit more bearish to me compared to the rest of the altcoins, I have to say. Most altcoins look more bullish, but Bitcoin Cash, if this is a leading indicator, well, and I'll keep an eye on it now, then this is kind of telling us that the overall bullishness of the crypto market and the altcoin market is over and done with. We have a beautiful impulsive move to the downside here, followed by a potential bear flag starting to form here. We can pull it in like that more or less, or maybe an ascending wedge pattern. So this would have a measured move. Again, if we break this to the downside, let's take a conservative measured move pointing towards this liquid zone back down here. So I love it when this technical analysis voodoo actually plays out and works, right? So I'm keeping an eye on Bitcoin Cash. If this one is actually leading the market with regards to showing us what the real trend is, then I'd respect that. If this one starts breaking down here with some decent volume, I'd be happy to short Bitcoin Cash for sure. But then again, let's talk about some levels. I'm looking to buy Bitcoin Cash. Definitely one of those levels would be around the 37, $370, $80. Let's call it $380. Is a significant liquid zone in my opinion. So I'd be looking to perhaps buy inside of this zone and then wait for the price to perhaps backfill all the way back up and sweep the highs. But I'll be patient with this one again. You don't have to rush into these positions. Let's wait for some daily or 4 hour candle closes above this previous liquid zone around $465 per Bitcoin Cash. And then I'll be more than happy to start going long on this market. But for me, this is looking overall bearish, way more bearish than most of the other altcoins. So it's interesting to see how these markets are starting to break away from each other and not working in unison anymore. When I started trading crypto years ago, they used to all move exactly the same. So let's talk about Uniswap. We have this ascending triangle, kind of like an ascending triangle forming here on the lower term time frames, while the volume is absolutely tanking. In my personal opinion, the volume tanking while price is moving up, this could be a reaccumulation before the final extension. So if this was an ascending triangle, we could have a measured move pointing as high as, I'll calculate it real quick, as high as around $25.60. I'll put in an horizontal line around there so that we can keep an eye on that. But for me, I'm not going to be looking to long anything from this point. I think we are starting to get fairly bearish here as well. We've had a brilliant run to the upside with Uniswap, but I think we are starting to run out of steam. Everybody who bought these accumulated lows are going to start taking some decent profits off the table very, very soon. And then we could even see Uniswap come back down as low as $15 or maybe even as low as $9.80. I'll be looking to scoop up as many as I can if we do get around this $9.80 level. But before we can speak about those lower targets all the way down there, we need to start seeing market structure break from this point. So if we see Uniswap starting to break below $18.84, then we'll start considering perhaps taking a short position back down to $15.20. Okay, and to the same token, I wouldn't be wanting to buy Uniswap at these levels. There's no way that I'll be buying here. I'd be very skeptical again with the price action around these levels. Let's talk about BNB. BNB is a powerhouse. Again, I think this could be a leading indicator for most other altcoins. Overall, this is looking very constructive and very bullish. So for me personally, we can see we've got a little bit of an order block that kind of played out around there. Actually, we could pull this down a little bit. So we had a little bit of an order block play out there, and I'll explain to you guys what I mean by that. You'll see that if I go down to a lower term time frame, we kind of just moved sideways inside of that block. That's known as an order block. So usually when we extend this high from an order block, we usually come back down to fill the order block and to create some liquidity in the market again. So BNB, I would expect the same thing. I'd expect it to start pulling back fairly soon because we're still running out of volume, less participation as prices are moving up. This is usually not a very bullish signal. RSI looking pretty overbought here, overbought here, excuse me. It's reaching those critical zones. Stochastics also starting to reach those critical zones. But understand, I don't trade based on indicators or overbought or oversold. There's a different way that I read indicators, which I'll explain in the full online course. So BNB looking good here, very constructive, very bullish. I would love to buy it back down here around $52, maybe $50 per BNB inside of this order block. I think that's going to be a no-brainer trade. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. BNB, it's probably one of my favorite altcoins at the moment. This is what an altcoin should be looking like if it's really bringing, um, you know, disruptive technology to the table. This is very constructive over time. You can see that this is a very bullish signature that's starting to print on this chart. So are we going to make one more extension up? I think so. And then we might start seeing some downside potential on most of the markets, including the traditional markets and the global economy. So once that starts happening, obviously the liquidity will leave these higher risk assets and go back into dollars, US dollars. And that's when people start selling to get back into dollars. All right, we've got two more to go through here. We've got Neo. Neo kind of just hanging around here. Again, this is not one of the best signatures I want to see on a chart that's supposed to be bullish. Same thing like I said with Monero. Neo makes me think that we're a lot more bearish than the market is actually implying at the moment. I wouldn't be looking to buy Neo around these levels. In fact, the best place, in my opinion, to be buying Neo is around $20.52. Anywhere inside of this liquid zone, you know, between $19.50 and $20.50. Let's call it that. That's why I'd be looking to accumulate some more. But in the short term, if we start seeing some proper volume coming through and closes above this liquid zone, I'd expect Neo to make its way back up to around $27, $28 per coin. But again, I'd be patient here. We are seeing a decline in volume. There's a little bit more volume behind the buyers here on Neo than some of the other altcoins. So perhaps we have an opportunity to make some gains to the upside for Neo over the next week or two. Then let's chat about Monero. This is going to be the last one. Monero, also again, kind of like the same signature we're starting to see with some of the other altcoins. Um, Monero is looking, again, to me personally, this is looking a lot more bearish at the moment than bullish. I would actually expect Monero to come back lower shorter term to around $145 a coin. And then perhaps if we break below this 145 level, I'd expect an extension back down to 134, maybe even as low as 124. So quite a decent market structure being created here. It overall is looking healthy, but not necessarily to the bullish side of things. Again, I think we're seeing some kind of rising wedge, just like on Litecoin, uh, or what was the other one that I was talking about as well? Was it Litecoin? No, was it Bitcoin Cash? Yes, it was Bitcoin Cash. So Monero showing pretty similar structure here. We can see that we've got a little bit of a ascending wedge starting to form throughout this price action data we can pull through here. So this technically will have a measured move as well. We had a beautiful impulsive move to the downside. That's what we want to see. And then we start identifying, is the volume starting to go down? Yes, it is. This could be some profit taking from shorters, maybe seeing a little bit of a short squeeze to the upside. And then we can expect perhaps a break back down. So a measured move for this would be, well, these mostly break out to the downside. So a measured move for this would be pointing towards that $125 level, that 124, $125 level that I was speaking of. This is where I would like to perhaps look at some medium to longer term positions if we can make it that low. And if you guys can recall, Chris also spoke about this $113 level for Monero. This is a level that we definitely want to accumulate once we reach that target to the downside. So I'm bearish a little bit on some of the altcoins, mostly neutral at the moment, and then bullish on the two trades that we're currently involved in. Chainlink, I believe we still have some room to move to the upside, and Ripple definitely looking like it wants to continue to extend higher, perhaps reaching our first target during the day and over the weekend. If we can close above this liquid zone, that would be extremely bullish shorter term. And I would at least expect to move back up to about 67, 68 cents, somewhere around here, this middle part of this range. Let's put a line in there because I do think this would be a significant level. Um, we can also see maybe in the past how the market has reacted to that level. So definitely something I want to keep an eye on. Let's just pull this down a little bit. That's going to make a lot more sense actually. So a nice little liquid zone to be pulled in here. And again, it's looking fairly bullish here. I do like what I'm seeing on XRP and Chainlink. So be patient. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to trade safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers for now. Bye bye.